positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I would like to gift my book, The Golden Key, Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance to you at goldenkey.gift, where you can get the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD at checkout. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a marvelous Monday here in the studio as I record, and I got some things to talk to you about today. Got a few ideas that are rolling around in my brain. I was thinking a little bit about legacy. This idea, you hear a lot these days about what's your legacy going to be? What are you going to leave behind? You're going to go and all that's going to be left is your legacy. What are you going to be remembered for? And, they say you are alive as long as the last person that remembers you is alive. And then you go on, and I suppose these days we have recordings, and even looking back at, authors from thousands of years ago, words can live on. I mean, this podcast, shoot, maybe someone a million years from now is listening to this, laughing as I talk about it, because, up until now, there hasn't been a digital recording medium that we know of. We certainly haven't found digital recordings from, 100 million years ago, although they may be there buried somewhere. Who knows how many times we've gotten to the point of this level of evolution and then, went extinct. I've heard it theorized that this has happened. We've been here before on, on Earth, on planet Earth. Who can say for sure? But anyway, I digress. This idea is one you, like I said, you're hearing a lot of. Is what is your, what are you going to leave behind? What's your legacy? How are people going to remember you? What are people going to remember you for? Why did all the great pharaohs and kings want to, conquer or build the pyramid or whatever it is, to just like, it goes on beyond them. And, when you start thinking of this idea of legacy, it's like, this for so long, I think myself, and I know many of you can probably relate, you've had this sort of approach to life of accomplishing, right? How do I accomplish? How do I win? How do I, hit the jackpot? How do I make $1 billion? How do I become famous? This sort of thing. And as someone who's been, a serial entrepreneur my whole life with always big visions and dreams and things, I've definitely done probably more than my fair share of that sort of line of thinking. And it's, I can look at it now at 48 years old and think, I am at a point where it's like you start to see the runway isn't as long as it once was. You're not thinking of like, oh, when you're in your 20s, you think, oh man, all time is on my, you teens, all time is on my side. Everything's ahead of me. You start thinking, okay, maybe my runway's not, Queen of England died this week. She was made it, older than average for sure. And that's double my age. And that's if you make it really up there. So, the runway isn't as long. What's the legacy going to be? What is it? Am I still caught up on achieving? Do I need to have the world's biggest podcast or biggest company or, nothing wrong with any of those things. But really what I've come to more and more and more as I've strived to, to do and move more into the state of flow and being, slowly but surely getting better and better at it. And I've really landed at this, more than ever, as Saint Francis of Assisi once said, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. How can I serve? You want to really make a difference? Martin Luther King said, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Albert Einstein said, only a life lived in the service of others is worth living. What a thought, right? Only a life lived in the service of others is worth living. I quote Gandhi all the time. If you want to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. As many of you listening for a long time know what I'm going to say next. I like to add on to that. The reason I believe that holds true is there are no others. So how do I become a regal servant? How do I, as I'm ascending and embracing my godhood, my divinity, we're regal. We are divine. We are, speaking of a queen or a king, you are that. At some level, the essence of your being is beyond that notion. It's so divine, what you come from. You are regal. And yet, what is the highest, most regal, regal being doing? Look at someone like Jesus Christ. He said, you will do greater things than I. Let me wash your feet, right? I think no matter how we've taken that particular man's story and hijacked it for, other purposes and for control and power and all the things that have happened, I believe, with, organized religion and so forth. And some good has come from it too. I'm not to just knock it, but, Jesus wasn't a Christian. He didn't ask anyone to worship him or put him on a pedestal. He said, yes, I am God. I am one with God. And now I'm here to wash your feet. He's a regal servant. And how do we move into this state of my legacy? What can I do from this moment forward? Maybe it's you've thought it's too late for you. No, it's not too late for you. Everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Becoming more regal, more divine, ascending into your higher self, the next greatest and greatest version of yourself, while making service to others the fundamental foundation of who and what you are. And this is going to lead you, this idea that actually being of service is going to lead you into your greatest possible legacy. Not how big was your yacht? How many billions did you make? How many millions did you make? No. How many people did you affect? How many lives did you touch? I'm not sure who said this, but this little poem saying I've seen is really profound. It says, nothing in nature lives for itself. Rivers don't drink their own water. Trees don't eat their own fruit. Sun doesn't give heat for itself. Flowers don't spread fragrance for themselves. You see, it's all set up this way. It's all about how can I contribute. When the puzzle pieces of your life go back in the box at the end and you examine, it's going to be all about how much impact, positive impact did I have on those who I bumped up against, those I was meant to bump up against, those I was meant to influence, those I was meant to have an impact on. And that's how you achieve your greatest legacy. That's how you hit the home run from the past is the past. Let it go. It's not here. The future is unwritten. You want to write it to its greatest and grandest potential? Find a way to impact everyone that you come in contact with, to learn how to follow the breadcrumbs of where to go, what to do next, and impact everyone that you come across in the most profound way possible by being the light, being the example, not telling them necessarily. In some cases, it makes sense to explain and talk through things, but most importantly, by your example, by your essence. What are you being? What are you feeling? What are you emanating? And if you're emanating the essence of the regal servant, I know my own divinity, and therefore I know and can see your divinity, and I am here to serve and support that in any way that I can. That is someone who's figured out. That is someone who's going to be proud of their legacy, whether they're remembered for 5 minutes or 5 million years after they've left this place. Heard a little clip from Neil Donald Walsh, the author of Conversations with God, talking about this, some of these topics I'm touching on here. It is, I actually found it on Mind Valley's YouTube page. It's titled 3 Mind-Blowing Life Lessons from Neil Donald Walsh. Pretty short one. Take a listen.
So the question in life through which you engage and accelerate your evolution is, can you believe the highest thought you ever dared to hold about yourself? And then, if you actually embrace and hold that thought as your truth, I'm not making it up, I'm not imagining it, I'm not spinning out here, this is actually what's true about me. Then, when you embrace that highest, grandest thought you ever had about yourself, then you can embrace that thought about others as well. Only when I see who I am and embrace who I am at the highest level can I possibly see who you are. So I see that my life, in that sense, has nothing to do with me. It's about everyone whose life I touch and the way in which I touch it. Should you choose to live your life in that way, it will shock you, it will amaze you how life's events, life's circumstances, life's situations come to you without effort. Make a list when you get to your room tonight of 3 things you wish you had more of in your life. This is an interesting exercise. Make a list of 3 things you wish you had more of in your life right now, whatever it might be. And then tomorrow, make yourself experience that you are the source of those 3 things, one of those 3 things in the life of another. By the way, here's what's interesting about this exercise. When you do this exercise, 3 things I would like more of in my life. In the next 48 hours, in the next 48 to 72 hours, in the next 2 or 3 days, you will meet someone who absolutely feels they have less of that than they want and is looking for that, actually begging life for it. And you can be the source of that in their life. And what moves through you sticks to you. That's the magic formula. As you become the source of it in the life of another, whatever it is, financial help, companionship, whatever it might be, wisdom, clarity, as you become the source of that in the life of another, it flows through you and sticks to you. That is, you have a sudden realization that you already have that to give. You just didn't think that you did until somebody else needed it even more than you. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I had it here all along. I had it here all along. And the more I give, the more I receive. Why didn't somebody tell me this at the beginning? Why did I have to wait till I was a half century old to hear this? And it wasn't even just about my relationships, it was about my career, the whole business of making money, the whole business of what I was going to do with the days and times of my life. The whole ball of wax was nutso. I didn't get it. I finally sat down when I had my first conversation with God, and I begged God, come on. If you're God, then you clarify it. Help me out here. What does it take to make life work? I can remember sitting on the couch crying out at 4 o'clock in the morning, what do you want from me? What don't I get here? God said, Neil, it's really very simple. You think your life is about you, and your life has nothing to do with you. It's about everyone whose life you touch and the way in which you touch it.
You can only see the greatest version of others when you hold the greatest version of yourself, right? You can't see beyond what you're capable of seeing, right? You're limited. If you're limiting yourself, you're limiting your vision of others. And, I love how he said here, look, write down 3 things you want more of, and you're going to get that opportunity. Like that meme I've talked about before, where everyone's sitting around a big circle with these super long spoons trying to figure out how to dip into the, I guess it's a bowl, right? And soup, and they're trying to feed themselves, but their spoons are too long until they finally figure out that the only thing they can do is reach it across and feed the person way across from them on the other side. And, you're going to come across someone that you can be the source of these things that you want for yourself. And then that shows you that you already have them within you. And so much so that there's an overflow of it that you're able to give it to others. And what's so the irony of this is, by giving it away, by acknowledging that you have it to give, you call in more of it. And of course, what moves through you sticks to you. I often say, love's the only thing you give away, and it multiplies, right? So with these, whatever the 3 things you would write down that you want more of, be open in the coming days to see someone coming to your field who is seeking those things too, and maybe is further away from the goal than you would imagine yourself to be. And when I say you're further away from the goal than you imagine yourself to be, we're talking numbers, right? It's like, money is a great example. Oh, if I only had $100,000. To someone, that is a huge, huge number. To someone else, they spent that today on flowers for their mansion, right? So numbers never end, whether it's 100,000 or 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 or, whenever you're needing more of something, it's numbers, and numbers never end. So when you come across someone who has less of the thing that you want more of, now you realize you have an abundance of it already within you, and you can be the source of these things for someone else. And this allows you to call in more. By giving away what you want for yourself, you actually call in more of it. What moves through you sticks to you, as Neil says here. And I love how he wraps it up. He's like, you think your life is about you, and it's not. It has nothing to do with you. It's about everyone whose life you touch and the way you touch it. That's the only scorecard. That's the only scorecard. At the end of the day, you want to know about your legacy? That's it. Whose life you touch and the way you touch it. What is the impact of your touch? Because you're touching lives, right? The impact of the way you're touching them. That's going to be the scorecard. If you want to win the game, you want to have the best outcome, you want to have a legacy that truly matters. If you only bump up against one other person the rest of your life, make it count so that your life touches them in a way that it's truly the love that you brought to that interaction ripples out across, eternity through them to others, and on it goes. And this is the way we spread all the things worth spreading on this planet and throughout eternity. And I am grateful to be doing that dance with each and every one of you. Thank you for playing along. It is truly a pleasure. And I have a song to play for you today that is, it's kind of a chill, it's got that on and on it goes kind of vibe to it. And the song is Zen Z Ray Ray. It's the C remix by Loli Cosmica. On and on it goes. Till next time, journey well. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.